Picture this scenario. You meet a new man and hit it off. You both love to talk and enjoy each other's company. Things just click. But then he stops calling as often and seems to lose interest. You're perplexed. It was all going so well, and he didn't hint to there being an issue. Sound familiar? So why did this happen? Let's enter a man's mind to understand this better. After discussing this with many men, I found some surprising things that make them lose interest. Here are the 8 most commonly mentioned mistakes that women make that cause men to lose interest. Some of these might not seem little, but women sometimes do them almost subconsciously, even though they seem extreme in some cases. 1. Bursting the thrill of the chase too quickly. A woman reading that might not have any idea what it means. A man will know instantly they like chasing women, and when she starts talking about being an item, the chase is over. It's like waiting for Christmas morning, and then you open your presents, the anticipation and excitement is gone. You see this same effect with free merchandise. If something is free, we often assume it's not that valuable. You get what you pay for. A surprising truth is that customers who overpay are often happier. That seems backwards, doesn't it? But they feel like they're getting a really good product. Someone who buys a BMW, Porsche, or Corvette won't go around complaining that they spent too much. Just the opposite. They might brag about how much they spent. In dating, men like to feel as if they've bagged an exclusive prize. Almost like winning a sports trophy. So let a man chase you. If things go great from the first date, that doesn't mean that you should drop all other men you're dating. Don't let this new man think that this is set in stone, because then it might kill the vibe. That isn't to say you should keep him chasing forever. When the time is right to start to take the relationship seriously, by all means commit to it. 2. You're being too demanding. Imagine that Alice met a man, it went great, and after a few dates, she assumed they'd start seeing more of each other. That can be mistake number 1, as previously mentioned, if she goes in too committed, too early. Sadly, that could end any flirting, teasing, and playfulness that men crave. Even if you're seeing each other, you can make a man really fall hard if you continue to let him chase you. Let's say that Alice starts expecting him to see her every few nights and begins making unnecessary demands, which is mistake number 2. It might not happen that soon, but when a woman starts putting pressure on a man, he can lose interest. This sounds a little absurd, but we've probably all been there. We want a man to fall for us, and then we think that he'll show his love by doing the things we want. It can turn into ordering him around, or telling him that he can't do certain things. The mistake might also be asking too much, too soon, before he was ready to commit on the same level as you. If you want the ultimate secret to make him desire you more, click on the link in the description. 3. Talking about your ex during the early stages of a new relationship. In a new relationship, exes will inevitably come up. There comes a time when you will likely need to talk about them, especially if they're still a part of your life. Co-parenting would be a good example of this. But talking about an ex early on is a red flag, and will cause a man to lose interest. It doesn't matter how you're talking about the ex. If you're complaining, that means you're still hurt and angry, and the ex is still on your mind. If you're talking about what good friends you are with your ex, that might indicate future competition and resentment for the new man. If your new man asks about your ex, keep your answers short and sweet. A sentence or 2 will suffice. However, make a concerted effort to not give off the impression that you're avoiding the subject, as it may indicate to him that you have something to hide. This new man probably wants to know how things stand, so give him an honest answer and move on. Dwelling on your ex in any fashion can cause your new interest to, well, lose interest in you. 4. Sacrificing all of your previous commitments. Falling in love can be so consuming that it absorbs all of your focus. But if you give up your life so you're always free, he'll lose interest. Don't empty your calendar so you can give all of your time to your new man. Your lives are bound to mix, but it causes problems if you dump your life and try to integrate into his life. He fell for you the way you were, with your own life and interests, and things to talk about. So if you become someone waiting around to see him, he'll lose interest. If he feels he can see you all the time, he begins to appreciate it less. Make yourself selectively available, so he appreciates your company more. You'll be happier if you keep your life, friends, and activities, and then you won't feel like you're waiting for him to give you some time. 5. Gossiping. Gossiping with your girlfriends can be fun, but it can flat out annoy a man. He probably doesn't know who you're talking about, and he'll see you in a more negative light, rather than them. Studies have shown that when we hear people gossip, the negative feeling we get is attached to the gossiper. You're also using time that you could use to talk about your life, goals, dreams, new things you're learning, or about new things going on in town. Discussing something you're going through is different. You can share goings on in your life, but don't fill that time discussing people you find irritating. You'll lose his interest. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave a like. It helps out a lot. 6. Sending mixed signals. Sending mixed signals will make a man lose interest quicker than anything else mentioned in this video. You might tell him you don't mind if he goes out with friends, but then you're hurt when he does and get angry with him. Men can't read minds. We want them to know what we really want, but you can't test a man this way. It's not his fault if he goes by what you say. If you're hurting and say you're fine, he might not be able to read the subtle body language signals, or be able to connect something that happened last week. One example is asking him, "Do you think that woman is pretty?" By asking, you're indicating that it's okay for him to answer honestly, but he might not realize you're testing him. If you say one thing but act another, he'll also be confused, and then not know what to do or how to act around you. He will then become frustrated and lose interest. 7. Trying to do too much for him. You can show him you care by doing small things for him, but if you try and do everything on his behalf, he will become frustrated. Even if you're just trying to take care of him, he will likely feel like you're trying to control him. This never ends well. If he's losing interest, and you don't know why, consider how many things you try to do for him. Doing too much, too early, can make him lose interest. 8. Fishing for compliments. Your man should be complimenting you if he truly values and cares for you. However, he will do that when it feels authentic to him. Constantly asking him to compliment you makes you come across as needy and insecure. He will be doing it to avoid an argument or to keep you happy temporarily. If he feels like he's being pressured to pay you compliments all the time, he will no longer want to do it. It will reach a stage where he will rarely ever compliment you from the heart. This will bring negativity to your interactions and cause him to lose interest. So, now you know 8 things women do that make men lose interest. You probably want to know how to keep a man interested. Let's say you have already made some of these mistakes and you feel that your man is starting to lose interest. I imagine you now want to regain his interest. Well, you're in luck. It is possible to reignite the spark by triggering his deepest desires. These desires are subconscious and when triggered create impulses that they cannot explain to themselves. Because the moment you flip this secret trigger in a man's heart, a trigger so secret that 99% of women and men don't even know it exists, he'll feel a surge of desire for you that goes far beyond physical attraction, and makes him see you in a whole new light. Click the link in the description to learn more about this. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe as I will be uploading more of these in the coming days.